Welcome to On the Horizon, where our vision meets the ground. Join me, Levi Hall, as we discuss how our local cooperative can help with your success. Welcome back to another episode of On the Horizon. This week's guest is the intern for Horizon Resources, Abby Uffelman. Abby came to us from Hardin High School via Williston State College, and Abby is just a fantastic young lady who we have really enjoyed having in the Williston Agronomy office. Abby gives her history and her timeline and how she found Horizon Resources and her decision to join us for an internship this year, and then talks a little bit about what each day looks like as an intern and the people she gets to work with and the knowledge she's gained from each of them. And then she gives one of the best recommendations to all of the interns out there. I can't wait for you to hear it. The conversation with Abby today was second to none. I'm really excited for you to hear this one. Enjoy the show.
At Horizon Resources, we thrive alongside the farmers and families who make our work meaningful. From grain marketing to advanced agricultural solutions, we're more than a cooperative. We're a cornerstone of agricultural excellence.
I've been with Horizon Resources for 28 years. What keeps me here is not just the growth of the crops, but our deep roots in this community. We have one shot a year to grow a crop, and my job is to make sure it counts.
Embracing technology, we bring innovation right to the fields. By adopting drone technology for crop monitoring, we ensure that our farmers are equipped with the best tools to maximize their profitability.
Horizon Resources isn't just a place to work, it's a place to grow. We invest heavily in our employees, offering training and development to propel them forward, both personally and professionally.
Our cooperative has helped our family thrive through some very tough seasons.
Our commitment extends beyond the fields and into the heart of our community. Whether it's sponsoring local sports teams or supporting agricultural education, we're here, making a difference every day.
I have grown so much here, not just in skill, but in confidence.
It's not just a job, it's a passion for serving our members.
At Horizon Resources, with nearly 200 employees, we're proud to grow with our community, fostering an environment where every hand helps. Join us and be part of our team.
Visit our website to learn more or join our team. Horizon Resources, where your growth is our success.
Welcome to another episode of On the Horizon. This week's guest, we have with us the intern, not just an intern. We have the intern for Horizon Resources, Abby Uffelman. Abby, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Abby, I'm sure if people have been in the Williston Agronomy location, they've seen you bouncing around in there. If you're real Rosie the Riveter, you'll do anything they ask you to do. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and a little bit of your background?
So I'm from Hardin, Montana, and I live on a farm there. And it's a lot different going from there to here. We don't have canola, durum, lentils, none of that.
Yeah.
So
it's a real different way of farming down there. So it's been a unique experience coming up here. Before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about while you were growing up in Hardin, what were you active in? Tell us a little bit more about yourself and your interests.
So I played a lot of sports. I was softball, swimming, golf, a little bit everything, cross country.
Do you think you could beat Austin Semenko in a round of golf?
Yes, right now. Let me go get my hot pink golf clubs.
I believe that you could. I've golfed with Austin before, and I'm pretty sure you could take him by at least 10 strokes.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. So you did all those. Did you do high school rodeo or anything like that?
No, we didn't really have a high school rodeo program.
I know you've got a few horses that you love dearly.
Yes.
So what are your horses' names?
Got Patches of Houlihan, Edie, and Whitey.
Nice. So you've got those three horses that you Love to ride when you go back home. You even used to ride the horse to school occasionally. Is that right?
So my sister did.
Okay.
For FFA, they do a thing and they all ride their horses to school. And where we are, the school has to take care of your horses. So it's kind of like a
nice little senior prank, probably. Yeah. So were you involved in FFA and 4-H growing up as well?
No, I was unable to because I had to help my dad on the farm.
Sure. So you were living it and out there working constantly.
Oh, yeah. Living the dream.
Yeah. So then you graduate from Hardin High School. And what did your college search look like?
So I wasn't too ambitious on going to college. And I had a great opportunity come up. Williston's a great college. They offer great education that's not extremely expensive. And they also gave me the opportunity to play on a softball.
Gotcha. So you were on the softball team here for 2 years?
Yep, 2 years.
Right on. How'd you do?
I did good.
Yeah. What position did you play?
I was sort of a utility my first year.
Okay.
I was catcher, a little bit infield.
I don't think that's kind of a utility. I think that's very utility. That's everything to go from catcher, infield, and outfield. Did you ever pitch? That's the only thing you're missing.
In high school,
but not great
from that one.
Yeah, you retired. There you go. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. So you played softball here, and then when you came to Williston State, what was your major?
So I started out with accounting. I kind of wanted to be an ag accountant.
Okay.
Because I like numbers, but that changed.
Yeah. So you moved from accounting to general agriculture then?
Yeah.
And what kind of drove that decision? Was it just you felt more of a calling that way, or what was it?
I was just really enjoying like my weed science classes and soil science. And I even was kind of looking into like the animal science side of things. I mean, it still involves numbers and everything. So yeah. I was like, it's a win-win.
Yeah. Well, no matter what you do in agriculture, you're going to be involved with some type of numbers typically, whether it's someone that's an agronomist that's writing prescriptions or fertilizer blends, you're on the grain side buying and selling, or if you're on the farm and you are the one running that farm, everyone's least favorite part about their farm is when they have to do their books and their taxes.
See, I love that.
Perfect. So if you're out there listening and you want help doing your taxes, just call Abby Uffelman. We'll rent her out. So
thanks.
Yeah. So Abby, you graduated this May with your 2-year associate's degree. And did you have a solid plan of what was next for you?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. How did you find this internship with Horizon Resources?
So Austin actually came into one of the classes in Williston. It was like ag entrepreneurship, and he was talking about what they do, how it is, like they would love to have an intern. And I kind of had that in the back of my head, like maybe this is a great opportunity, but I wasn't sure because it's like I have to go home to the farm and help my dad. I was like bound and determined, like that was what I have to do. Mm-hmm. Turns out they don't want me there because they think I'm too smart.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but and then I was like, you know what? I'll stay in Williston, and they gave me a tour of the place. I said, I'm in.
That's awesome. So now that you've graduated, you're wrapping up your internship here in August. What are your plans next?
So I might not like this, but I'm going to South Dakota State.
Boy, I do have a censor button on here that I could have used for that. But I tell you what, my wife went to South Dakota State. And so through her meeting all of her friends that have also gone to South Dakota State, there's some people that have turned out okay despite their poor decisions in their past, not choosing the better state university in Fargo. So I've got high hopes that you can still overcome this hurdle, Abby.
I'll try.
Yeah. So what's your plan when you get to South Dakota State? Do you have a major picked out?
So my major is agricultural science.
Okay.
And then I'm minoring in precision ag and agronomy.
Gotcha. So right now, are you thinking an agronomist is kind of the path that you're leaning?
Yeah.
So this ended up being a path by doing this internship. Did this help solidify that, or did it have an impact on that decision?
This internship basically made my decision for me.
Awesome. That's great to hear. So when Dr. Kay Lyle, Audrey Kay Lyle, and I did our podcast, we talked a little bit about the internship program. And I myself bounced around and did a little known fact that I was an intern in an agronomy center for 2 years before I ended up getting into the grain side and found something that just fit me a little bit better, fit my personality a little bit better. And I'm so glad that that's what happened for you. So do you have plans for next summer?
It's still kind of up in the air. I was offered the opportunity to come back.
Awesome.
And I'm really, really considering it. it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of waiting and seeing.
Yeah, I think that's really smart because there's a lot of opportunities out there where you're able to get some world experiences. But I know for a fact that at Horizon Resources, we've really enjoyed having you around. You've been such a fun, bubbly person. You are an extremely smart girl. So I really wanted to give you that compliment and let you know how much we've really enjoyed having you around here. So let's talk about your typical day at Horizon Resources. So you started in late April. Was there seeding going on when you started?
Honestly,
Probably not a whole lot.
I don't remember.
It's kind of been a blur.
Yeah. I mean, every single day is something different.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know what I did yesterday because every day just kind of blends in together. You know?
So, so what are some of the tasks that you've done, not specific to any single day? So
kind of depending on the day, like sometimes I'll go out scouting with Sarah. The past couple weeks I've been out in the fields with Audrey taking tests for the root disease we're doing. And then sometimes I'm with Austin loading up chemical, putting pallets together. Right now I'm helping John kind of figure out numbers. And along with Nicole, I went through a lot of the blend tickets to make sure they're in the system right.
Sure. So you got a really diverse experience. You got to sit with each of the people in that Williston agronomy office for some time. Let's talk a little bit about each of those in a little bit more detail. So when you say you went out scouting fields with Sarah, talk a little bit about what that means and what you did. I loved my summer as a crop scout. I had my best tan I think I've probably ever had as that summer. But why don't you go ahead and talk about what the day today looks like?
So basically, hook up the trailer, get the four-wheelers going, and we drive our four-wheelers in like a Z formation through the field, kind of looking for everything. And then we go on our farm QA, take pictures, put in the system, the severity, if it's like, wow, there's a lot of this, kochia, like we'll mark it down. So then we can determine on what chemical, what rate to use for that field.
Gotcha. So you went out there, you found the weeds that were there. And did you map where they were at in the fields and do all that stuff?
Yes, we could draw pins on like this place. There's a big pile of like Canada thistle.
Yeah.
So drop a pin, they know where it's at.
Perfect. So then that helps the farmer be more efficient when they go out to spray.
Yes. And if it's on the whole field, sometimes they might just hand spray it. So then they're like not having to drive through the whole field like, where is this?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you can do it a little bit more efficiently and not drive across the whole field or fire up a side-by-side sprayer versus the big 120-foot booms, it makes a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
So then you mentioned Dr. Kalile, so Audrey in our office. When you go out with Audrey, what does that look like?
I sometimes go scouting with her, like the research she has been doing with the root disease and stuff. We get in the pickup, grab our shovels and our buckets and start walking. And we have a picture of the field where we took soil samples earlier this year or earlier in the summer. And then we took the plant sample from that exact location and dug up 5 plants, brought them back and put them in little tubes.
Cool. And so then what you guys are trying to do is help that farmer find a solution for any disease issues they might be facing.
Yes.
Cool. And then you mentioned Austin and putting together pallets. So obviously anybody that's been through that agronomy office through the months of especially May and June know how hectic it can be. So how did that typically work where a lot of people know that when they pull into the driveway, there's a pallet there that's got shrink wrap on it and their name written in permanent marker. Talk about the process that happens for that pallet to be there ready for them when they come in.
So they might come in early. They might call, tell us how many acres, what the field is. And then we're like, okay, do you want to use like this chemical? And then Austin gets it all put together, or else I sometimes help them. We go put the pallet together, wrap it, and when they come through, we load it, and they're all good to go.
So how many boxes do you think you've thrown this summer?
A lot.
Yeah.
Because I spend a lot of my time in the warehouse.
Yeah.
I kind of take pride in it.
Yeah. Well, it's in great shape. It's nice. It's clean. It's organized. So you've done a great job there.
Try.
And I will say when I was in the agronomy warehouse, that was my first summer. That was basically my job because the office was separate from the warehouse at this center that I was working at. And so they would bring their tickets down. I would go around on the forklift, put their pallet together, and load them up. There was one time where I did have a pretty decent spill. And I think I told you about that because I was transferring from one shuttle to another, got busy doing something else, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, ended up with a little bit of a spill. I did see you claimed you didn't have a spill, but was there one?
So didn't have a spill.
Okay, good.
Proud of that.
Yeah. Well, see, so you one-upped me already.
Broke in a bag, though.
Okay. Canola seed bag?
Oh, yeah. I was so disappointed in myself.
Oh, no. Well, we'll deduct that out of your last paycheck.
Yeah, well, Austin can't say anything because he broke 10 his first year as the intern, and I'm still doing better than him.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's the bar then, so you're doing good. Yeah, perfect. So I almost forgot. John was the last one. That's the one that you said you're working with right now. So when you said you're going over numbers, talk a little bit about what that looks like. What kind of numbers are you going over?
So basically, I'm kind of learning on how we actually make money.
Sure.
So it's kind of new to me still. I just started yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm like.
So you're doing more margin structure type stuff and figuring out, because there's a couple different things that happen. First, we have our gross margin, and that's X dollars per ton, let's say. And then we have our net margin, where we take the gross margin is just the back-to-back. That's what it looks like you made money on. The net margin takes out all of our overhead expenses. And so you basically right now, that's what you're working on, how to calculate that, how to manage that in case you ever want to get into a leadership type role.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's a great piece of information. And John is very good at his job. So he is a great teacher for that. So you've really got, everyone that you mentioned in those fields, they're doing a phenomenal job. So let's talk a little bit about your favorite part or parts of your job. We talked a little bit about this beforehand, and you said that is way too vague of a question, Levi. But tell me a couple of your favorite things that you've really enjoyed.
I've really enjoyed our morning coffees.
Yeah?
Yeah. We all sit down in the front and just talk.
Yeah.
And laugh.
Yeah, there's kind of a team meeting in that agronomy office every morning.
Yeah, we basically call it our team meeting.
Yep.
But it's, we're like a big happy family, it feels like, because I don't really have family here in Williston. They kind of fill that void for me, I guess.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, so that's been your favorite part. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? You'll be done with your South Dakota State schooling. I must admit, is a pretty good university. So you even have it here on the internet now, so I can't run from that. But it is a good university. I think you did make a great decision. Talk a little bit about your 5 to 10 year plan, if you have one.
Well, me going into like this whole agriculture, journey of mine, I was bound and determined again to go home, take over the farm, 4th generation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not ready to go home. I feel like I have so much more to learn, and I would like to work as a full-time agronomist.
Yeah.
Kind of do what Sarah and Austin do.
Awesome.
Hopefully up here, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we would love to have you. I know that. And I know that I certainly can appreciate, even if down the road, going back to be that 4th generation on the farm is something that ends up happening. I'm a firm believer that working for the co-op or even just having another job before you make that transition back, it's, in my opinion, such a valuable thing. It really shapes the way that you look at the people that you're working with on a daily basis. Because if you do go back to that farm, you work with an agronomist, you work with a grain buyer, you work with an energy. And here you've had an opportunity to work with all of them from the business side on the same side of the desk. So should you decide to go back, you're going to get to see from the opposite side of the desk.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really smart decision on your part. Have you gotten to meet, I know that you've been mainly on the agronomy side in Williston Agronomy. Talk a little bit about Horizon Resources, a decent sized company, pretty big. We've got other agronomy locations. We've got other departments. Talk a little bit about your interaction with the rest of the company.
I haven't really met a lot of the other people because they're also busy just like us. But when I do get to meet some of them, I think they're from Zoll, one of the agronomists there. I ran into him. He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice how they treat me like
yeah.
I'm not just the intern. John makes me say the intern. But like, it's kind of nice. Even with like the grain guys just across the way, they act like they know me forever. So
yeah. Well, I will say, while we were talking before and I asked you what your official start was, and you said end of April, it feels like you have been here for 6 months or a year. You've done such a great job integrating with the company. And I'm not kidding you when I say it's just so much fun having you around. It's so fun seeing someone that comes in with the joy and passion that you do every day. So I want to really commend you on that. And I hope you do end up coming back here next summer. What would you recommend about this internship experience to others? Like, would you tell others to come to Horizon Resources for an internship next year?
Well, yeah, most definitely. Like, if you were ever like not sure where you want to be, agriculture, but you know you want to do something involving it, come here.
Yeah.
Like, you will get to learn every single side of things. If you talk to one of them that you kind of want to, run over to the grain elevator, see what they're doing, I know that, like, they'd be more than willing to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everyone here just wants you to succeed and be happy.
Yeah, I think that's such an awesome statement, Abby. And I really do believe that. I do believe that even if you decide to go to South Dakota State, we want you to be successful. And yeah, I just think that you have done, again, such a great job here. And it's great hearing that feedback for us, because as we build and shape this program, it's going to be, I think that we're going to look back at Abby Uffelman as one of the foundations that we built this on. So I really want to thank you for all your help with that.
Yeah, got you.
Well, Abby, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we sign off?
Thank you for having me, I guess.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Abby. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to On the Horizon. If our conversation today sparked your interest, make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Stay connected by following @Horizon Resources Co-op on Facebook and Instagram, and explore the world of agriculture with us. We're excited to continue bringing you real conversations with Horizon Resources industry partners, member owners, and employees, discovering more about your local neighbors and community friends. Until next time, keep looking towards the horizon.
Horizon Resources, solutions for your success.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not to be used or considered as an offer or a solicitation to buy or sell commodities. Horizon Resources does not make any representation, warranty, or guarantee as to the completeness, accuracy, timeliness, or suitability of any information contained within any part of this podcast. Horizon Resources does not accept any liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation loss of profit, which may arise directly or indirectly from use or reliance on such information. Whilst the information provided has been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, Horizon Resources does not attest to its accuracy or completeness. Horizon Resources reserves the right to change any source without restriction or notice. The information herein is indicative only and is subject to change.